In this video, I'm going to teach you how to navigate and understand the different palettes in Adobe Photoshop. So a palette is essentially a box of tools that's in Photoshop. Um, and so each of these sections up here, down over here on the right, down here on the right, over here on the left, and along the left-hand side, they're all different palettes that serve different functions and compose the main buildup of the interface of Photoshop. So the first one I'm going to talk about briefly is up here on the left. And I like to call this one the master control because up here I can do basically everything that I want if I really don't want to use any of the shortcuts anywhere else in Photoshop to do it. However, and this is good to know, we'll go over this more later, but it's good to know where everything is if you don't know and understand these different tools here. And so over here on the left-hand side is everything basically, this is the main toolbox. So if I want to draw stuff, if I want to pick a color, if I want to mask something, if there's a whole selection I want to make, if I want to smudge and blur and create shapes and all these other cool things, all of those tools are along this left-hand side. Over here on the right is the workspace area, and the workspaces we'll talk about more in a different video, in the next video. But what you need to know basically right now is that the workspaces can compose what you would rather, how you think. This side of the interface is all about the individual person and also about the individual project. Some projects require different types of workspaces for flow and efficiency. So underneath the workspaces, you're going to have your your layers and your channels and your paths, and we'll talk more about those as well. And then here's the tools to control some of those layers. That again, these are those shortcuts I was telling you about. If you didn't want to go up here and do that, you could just use these tools here. And then down here on the left-hand side, you'll see this kind of stretches out. This basically controls the actual viewing of the canvas that I'm working on. So if I wanted, so this percentage right here tells you how big it is, of what percentage compared to the actual file size, and I can change that with different tools. And again, we'll talk about that more later. And then this tells me the size of the document right here, and then how many bytes or how much storage space it takes up. But just one more thing, you'll notice as I scroll through these tools over here on the left, this window up here changes every time. So these basically are extensions of these tools along this side. Each one of them serve different purposes, and we'll talk about them as we go along. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next.